Hello and welcome back to the Sports Resort. This is your home for all things sports. I'm your host, Gannon Cornley. Want to welcome you guys. This is episode number 44. Number 44 in the house with my main man, Toby, here. And we may be getting Connor a little bit later. We'll see. He's not even having technical difficulties. He's having, what kind of problems would you say he's having?
Spatial difficulties.
Yes, I don't know. He doesn't
know where's a quiet spot in his apartment, so he doesn't wake every neighbor and every surrounding member of his block awake. I don't know. I don't know 100% what the issue is.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll
if he hadn't have sold his car, he could have done it from there. But
here
we are.
Well, now he's carless. He's out here having to hike it everywhere. But we'll try to get him on in a little bit. Full slate of things to talk about today. Of course, what's going on? We are now finally settled the conference finals within the NBA. Mad drama within the NBA. 2 game 7s. It was very intense. A wild weekend in the NBA. So got to cover all that. Of course, got some more NHL. They're also in the semifinals there, tied up 2 apiece as we currently speak, although it does look like the Tampa Bay Lightning have game 5 in hand as they are currently up 8-0. So I think they'll be taking the lead in this one, but definitely an exciting series there. Some more MLB updates for you there. We'll get you caught up with what's going on with our Kansas City Royals. And some very interesting news within the NFL. Some newsworthy of celebration. Other news, not so much. We'll kind of dive into that as well. It's been a interesting week for some players. They need to, stay safe out there. So we'll dive into all of that in a little bit. Anything before we get started with this week's episode, Toby?
I'm just getting back from Omaha. If my voice gives out mid-show, that's why. It was a pretty wild bender of a weekend. No sleep, no breaks, all gas all the way through. But I made it back, and I'm still 44 for 44 on these podcast episodes, which I believe is about 70% higher than Ben Simmons' free throw percentage.
Oh boy. It's already started. We knew the Ben Simmons slander was coming. I didn't know it started this early. It's bad.
We're a day behind. Everybody and their mom got their licks in earlier.
Yeah, they did. We got to get caught up. So I got to get this out there. And that's going to be a great editing job for me to get this out early as possible because we want this slander out there. Ben Simmons. We got some stuff to talk about. But first, we'll hold off just a second. But first, we got to talk about our first segment, which is titled, What Is You Doing? Highlighting some of the biggest idiots in the world of sports, people doing way too much out there. And I'll go first this week. There's starting to be a theme here, I think, with these What Is You Doings, because first we went through, what was it? I think a couple weeks ago I talked about the NBA refs when they ejected Jokic. We talked about some things between some NBA analysts have said. Not really. We've laid off on the players a little bit. We talked about the fans. I'm sorry, but I can't let this go. My What Is You Doing goes to the Denver Nugget fan that got absolutely destroyed by the Suns and 4 guy, whooped his behind. He came out there and decided to make an explainer video. Post getting beat up, talking about, yeah, he scratched my nose. Bro, he has a full-on cut down his nose because he broke your nose by beating your behind. You got whooped in your own house. And he's talking about, yeah, he just caught me off guard and he didn't really catch me that well. He kind of threw some soft punches. Bro, you got absolutely destroyed. What is going on? And then so he's half of my What Is You Doing? There never needs to be an explanation video for why you got beat up. That's just weak across all accounts. That's terrible. But on the other side, my what is you doing goes to these Clipper fans who then go into Phoenix and challenge the Phoenix Suns fans. Dude, they're completely outnumbered like 8-2. And the Clippers guy throws the first punch and they get absolutely wrecked. Now in the end, I guess they held their own. But I mean, it was still, they got thrown around. They got tackled all across the ground. Look like a bunch of idiots. What are y'all doing? You're outnumbered. There's nothing that they really could have said to you to make you that mad. Keep it moving. Clippers suck anyway. I would have been there to tell you that. You have to go all the way to Phoenix to find that out. So what is you doing? You're outnumbered. You got destroyed. And honestly, what is you doing to the Phoenix Suns? Why all of a sudden is their fan base just hostile? I didn't even know Phoenix Suns fans existed about 2 months ago. Now all of a sudden they're fighting everyone. What is y'all doing?
Yeah, it's been a horrible playoffs for NBA fans. The Suns fans, I think they're just hyped up. I think they've never experienced something like this before, and they don't know how to act. So I would like to see, I mean, this is not going to happen, knock on wood, for many, 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 many years. But if there was some Suns fans acting like that, and it was, say, the Knicks playing them in the finals or something like that,
oh man,
it'd be malice in the palace, no players involved. But you'd see fights pop up all over the stadium. Maybe the entertainment value would be very high, the etiquette very low. Yeah, NBA fans, I mean. But yeah, the Nuggets fan who made the video, by far the worst. Horrible haircut. Why would you go out, make yourself more public? Why not just let it die?
Horrible haircut.
Right. We remember Suns and 4 guy. And I mean, I guess we remembered bad bowl cut guy. But, like, it was going to die, and now it's not because you said something. So, congrats. He kept his 15 minutes of shame alive a little bit longer. So, well done to him. Not doing well, and my what is you doing? Our group trying to break down the NBA playoffs for you last week. We thought we had it all figured out, right? Jazz in 6 looked like a sure thing. Kawhi gets hurt. I'm saying, you know what? This is actually going to finish Jazz in 6. I'm sorry.
The Clippers 1-6.
Clippers 1-6. The Jazz blew a big lead in Game 6. I'm sorry I got my hopes up for any Jazz fans who are listening and they thought I knew something, because I've been predicting all these other championship games and matchups correctly. But you let Terrence Mann go for 40. How could I predict that? I can't. I guess that's my bad.
Couldn't. He didn't even know how many points he had after the game.
I was shocked. I think he finished with 39. I gave him a little more credit. I rounded up. But I can't predict that. And then my fellow co-host who can't figure it out right now, Connor Reed, who, as you know, the what is she doing a few weeks ago was the Milwaukee Bucks. It was 2-0. And we were pretty much doomsday. No more Giannis. Get everybody in Milwaukee out. Now, to be fair, the Nets had an injury it's a couple of injuries, really, that we weren't expecting. Harden played on one leg. Kyrie was out for all of it. But the Bucks win the series. And that reflects badly on us. And what a game it was. If Kevin Durant's shoes were this much shorter, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But because the Bucks and the Clippers love to hate our group, we collectively get the what is you doing this week. I apologize. We'll do better. I think we're going to predict these conference finals, and I think we know who's going to win.
Suns and Hawks.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Let's do it. Since the Bucks and the Clippers don't want to listen, just lose like we told them to.
So now that we predicted that, I'd like to congratulate the Bucks and Clippers on going to the finals.
That's a full round, and that's what's happening. I will be so mad.
But, yeah, Terrence Mann had his coming out party, and I think everybody's aware of him now.
Yeah.
It ain't happening again, Terrence.
But he didn't even have that much. He never scored that many points in college. His career high in college was like 29. And this dude went out there in the NBA and scored 39.
In a closeout game.
Yeah, that's insane.
Against the team.
Down their best player.
You hate to see it.
You really do. You really do. But we'll move this over and transition to NBA since while we're already on the topic. You guys already know what happened. To give you a brief recap, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to edge out the Brooklyn Nets in overtime in Game 7 on the road. A truly masterful performance overall by both teams in the end. Just unreal finish to that game. Brook Lopez with the blooper of all bloopers to not remember how much time he had to shoot the ball, which led to the Nets getting the ball back. And then just one of the most clutch shots I've ever seen from Kevin Durant, who just so barely stepped on the line that ended up tying the game and not winning it. And then you could just tell by the end he was gassed. He threw up an air ball in the end to pretty much seal their fate. But Chris Middleton hitting the game-winning shot for the Milwaukee Bucks, sending them to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they have a date with the Atlanta Hawks, who were able to go into Philadelphia for a Game 7 and eliminate the 76ers. Truly unreal. It was a sloppy game all across the board. No one seemed like they wanted to win. Trae Young had a very poor shooting night. Somehow, some way, that team edged it out, and the Hawks are moving on after a very impressive performance, all series long, to be quite honest. And on the other side, of course, the Suns, they've been waiting after they swept the Nuggets, Suns in 4, and they finally had a date with the Los Angeles Clippers, as we alluded to earlier, who came back down 2-0. It looked like the Jazz were going to pull away in Game 5. The Clippers were able to rally, took Game 5, stole that one. We're down by 25 points at home and somehow rallied through Trey Mann and company and pulled it out to win that series to win that series in 6, minus having Kawhi out with a knee problem that they refuse to tell us exactly what's going on, but he just continues to be out indefinitely. So we'll try to get you more updates with that as well. But yeah, it's just truly unreal how we even got to these conference finals. And now, of course, we do have one game under our belt with the Suns beating the Clippers in Game 1. Talk about masterful performances. Devin Booker with a 40-point triple-double made it look so easy. His first career triple-double, and he does it in the Western Conference Finals with 40 points. A very insane start to what hopes to be a pretty exciting matchup between these two teams. What were some of your takeaways from those Game 7s and now into Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals?
Well, the Game 7s we got were pretty much polar opposites. The Bucks and Nets was about as high level as you can get. Giannis showed up big time. He had been doubted. People were talking bad about him in the playoffs.
I did.
Giannis, yeah, we did. I think a lot of people questioned him. Most analysts questioned him. They were asking, what do you have? And Giannis Antetokounmpo, he put all the doubt behind him. He had confidence. He went forward. He himself had a 40-point game. Kevin Durant, another phenomenal outing. His Game 6 was maybe one of the greatest playoff performances I've ever seen in my life. So an unreal run for Durant ends essentially because their superstars have one of the 4 legs necessary to compete in basketball. Just worn out at the end. Phenomenal Game 7. As you said, the Sixers Hawks. Pretty low-level basketball being played. Shots were passed up. A lot of shots were missed. But in the end, I think this is going to sound controversial. The 76ers were the 1 seed. But in the end, I believe the better team won that series. I think the Hawks are a better team. And I think a lot of it, personally, stems from being a better coach team. And Nate McMillan, he's been getting his credit all throughout the postseason. But Doc Rivers is a cursed man. I'm telling you, 4 straight Game 7 losses. He's blown the most 3-1 leads. And as I saw somebody say on Twitter, I don't want to take credit. Somebody said it on Twitter. I can't remember who. Doc Rivers better thank KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Rajon Rondo, because without that championship, there's no way he has a job next year. After all the choky we've seen, the fact that he has the championship under his belt gives him more leeway than most. But, man, he's got to take some blame in this series to blow, I believe it was Game 5, the way they did. To blow Game 5 the way they did, to fall in that 3-2 hole. Just horrendous decisions made down the stretch with, who was in the lineup, how you ran offense, which was throwing it to your center beyond the free throw and 3-point line. Just very, very poorly done in that series. So we saw 2 pretty much polar opposites. But I love Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. You want to talk about guys doing what they do, high-level basketball all across the board. Because Booker, he got the 40-point triple-double. Paul George was going off of that game too. This podcast has been a big hater of Paul George, as most of the NBA fans have, but he's really done his thing since Kawhi's gone out. And those are 2 guys who, with fellow superstars missing, really did their thing. The supporting cast were all very good. I think that's going to be a fantastic series. Now, it might not go 6 or 7. The Suns seem to be more talented, more well-rounded, and they're missing their second-best player as opposed to their best player, which obviously helps. But I think we're going to see high-level basketball night in, night out from those 2 teams. And Devin Booker.
He's a beast.
I don't even need to say anything else. I wasn't sure. He was...
Dude is incredible, man.
Stephen A. Smith called him the next Kobe Bryant. I don't know if we're going to get too far ahead of ourselves.
I will never be able to bring
this is his first ever playoff run. It's a great one, but it's only his first, so I don't know if we're going to go that far. But what a first playoff run it's been so far. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say. That's just incredible what he's doing.
Well, as much as we like to send praises Devin Booker's way, I would be shamed by some of my friends if we did not talk about this, because I've actually had several people today ask me about this and what my opinions were. We have got to send some negative energy towards Ben Simmons. What occurred last night was a true travesty. Passing up wide open shots, not shooting the ball, and I have the stat here. It is truly unbelievable. Like it's the stuff like you just cannot make up. The fact that Ben Simmons he was 0 for 0 on field goal attempts in the 4th quarter of games 4, 5, 6, and 7. Did not take a single, didn't make, not bricked, airballed, didn't take a single shot in the 4th quarter of the last 4 games of the series. You give me a blank stare here. I don't think you understand just how unreal that is. To be considered a co-star or the second best player on the number 1 seed, you don't take a single shot, and you're the primary ball handler. So it's not like you're a guy who they have to feed you the ball and they just never found you. You have the ball in your hands at all times. You took 0 shots in 4 straight 4th quarters. That is mind-blowing to me. That is unbelievable. And I'm not even a 76ers fan. So I am sorry. For those Philadelphia fans this morning, I am sorry. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to you. That is a crime. That is $177 million just wasted. That is a crime. That's much money they spent on that man. That is amazing.
I think the reason that I'm giving you the blank stare is I've never thought of him as a superstar.
You don't have to be a superstar. You just a basic a rotation guy will take a shot in the last 4 quarters.
Yeah, and I should rephrase. I don't think he's very good, and I haven't thought that. He's a good defender, but essentially what Ben Simmons is he's big and he can pass, and people want him to be Magic Johnson. People want him to be LeBron James, and he has such glaring deficiencies in his game. You know why I don't think he went up with that shot yesterday? I don't think it was necessarily because he was afraid he would miss the layup. He's afraid he's going to get fouled. He was afraid if they fouled him, he'd have to go to the line and shoot in front of the fans. And every time he misses, groan in the stands. Oh, here we go again. He makes one, he gets the sarcastic cheers because of how horrible he is at that aspect. And that's something that he was bad at when he entered the league. And that's something that people, when he was drafted, people were saying, well, you can improve shooting. What you can't teach is his athleticism, his size, all that. The court vision is harder to improve. You could improve the shooting. And the fact that it's regressed, it's troubling for a few reasons. Either one, you really can't improve his shooting. A lot of people think he shoots with the wrong hand, which might be the case. Or two, he refuses to work on it. This is his 5th year in the league. 4th year he's playing. He sat out his entire rookie year. But this is his 5th year as an NBA player. And he's regressed. And he's on the first year of his $177 million contract, and the 76ers have no choice but to get rid of him. No choice. Your star player, the 76ers' actual star player, and the only star that team has, was out there playing with basically a torn meniscus, giving it his all, and they threw the ball to him. They said, go do everything for us. Go. We're in trouble. Embiid, on one meniscus, go do everything for us. So, yeah, and when Embiid gets mad at Simmons at the press conference, I get it. That's supposed to be the other guy on the team. The only guy you're getting contributions from outside of that, Tobias Harris. And he gets contributions and makes baskets because he's aggressive, because he hasn't lost all of his confidence, because he doesn't have a huge lack of talent in a specific area of the game, an area that now is more important than it's ever been. So Ben Simmons, he's got to be traded. They don't believe in him. He doesn't believe in himself. And you've got all this money sitting there. And there will be a team out there that's going to pick him up, and they say, well, we don't need somebody to come score the ball for us. We need somebody to set us up. There will be somebody to take a chance, but he will never, ever, ever, as the number 1 pick, he'll never, ever be the co-star that a team needs to win a championship if he does not improve drastically. And I mean very drastically. Because right now he doesn't believe it. Nobody should believe in it, which is why when they're asking Doc Rivers, a guy who has seen, again, he was with one of the great teams of all time in terms of talent, but seeing all the talent that it takes to win a championship, when he says, I don't know how to answer that question about if Ben Simmons could be a point guard on a championship winning team, there's no faith there. It was about as bad as it could possibly get. And I get that he does other things well. He's a good defender, and
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, man. He is great at a number of different aspects in the game, but the most important thing is scoring. Like it doesn't matter. Like, because I agree. Like Stephen A's assessment of him, he is LeBron James-esque without a jump shot. But the problem is that's the main thing. Imagine a wide receiver who was amazing at amazing routes, was fast, was great at getting off the press jam, but dropped the ball every time it touched his hands. What good does that do you? It doesn't matter. You can open up the defense, you can burn the corner, you can do anything, but if you can't do the finishing product, it doesn't matter. And that is unbelievable that we are sitting here talking now in his 4th year of actually playing, and we're saying the same thing that we said back when he was winning Rookie of the Year as a 2nd-year player. I don't understand. Like, what do you do all day? What do you do all day? That is your job. You should be doing nothing but shooting free throws and working on your jump shot. I don't know if you're shooting with the wrong hand or not. You should be at least have enough confidence, have enough work ethic in your art that you at least attempt shots. He's not even taking shots now. I don't understand it. They 100% have to trade him. I mean, the coach should have it was asked if they can win a championship, and the coach said, "I don't know." Like, you got to go. There's no way. And then Philadelphia of all places too. That is not a market where you can underperform. So no, the fans are going to just continue to hate on him. The coach doesn't believe in him. The best player on the team is not happy. And you've invested money. That's fan happiness, coach, best player, and money are all jacked up in that. That's 4 strikes. Gotta go. He's gotta go.
And to pile on now, everybody knows that they need him gone. Everybody knows that they want him gone. So now your trade value
is way down,
plummeting very quickly. I saw today they were talking about it. Some analysts, they were talking about what would be a good trade, Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum. Why would the Blazers give that up? You're asking now why the Blazers would give CJ McCollum for a guy who was a number 1 overall pick.
That's horrible.
It's about as bad as it gets. And not only did the Sixers do this with Simmons, they already had to get rid of Markelle Fultz, who was a number 1 overall pick. I mean, some process.
This process, yeah, that process is trash. Like, yeah, you keep tanking, eventually you're gonna get some good players, but you've screwed this all up. You have screwed it. He should have been with the shooting coach from day one. They should do nothing but take shots all day long. And he should be vast. Dude, the 76ers are good enough too, where in the regular season it doesn't even matter. If they drop a couple games, it doesn't even matter. Like, you want to keep, obviously be competitive, but I would rather him be out there taking like stupid shots, like heavily contested shots, just to work on a jump shot to be more prepared for the playoffs. Like who cares if he goes out there and he shoots 4 of 20? At least he shot the ball. At least he's he can see what he's doing and why it's not going in. He's not even doing that now. He's got to go. And yeah, at this point, I just watched my team get eliminated in the first round. I don't know if I would trade Dennis Schroeder for Ben Simmons right now. Because Dennis Schroeder, he can't make a shot, but Lord knows he'll take them. He'll at least take them. And is Ben Simmons distributing that much more than what Dennis Schroeder gives us? I don't know. Obviously he's better at it, but if he's not going to score, what's the point?
And especially, and you look at other teams that are competitive. You guys, for example, LeBron James has the ball in his hand. Dennis Schroeder gets the ball if LeBron is like, hey, I want a dish now. So Ben Simmons would be, no offense, absolutely useless on your team.
Oh, no.
What are you going to do?
I wouldn't want him. I would not want him.
What are you going to do? Stick him on the block? Keep an extra defender in the lane? Because nobody's going to guard him out by the 3-point line. Hell, he doesn't shoot layups when given to him. Nope. You know he ain't taking no threes.
Nope. And with LeBron, he's a drive and kick. So we're gonna need shooters out there. We have a guy who don't even want to shoot or don't want to shoot at all. No, he would be horrible. I literally would not. A guy that I'm not very happy with right now, because Dennis Schroeder was terrible in the playoffs. I wouldn't even trade him for Ben Simmons. That's unbelievable. That's how bad we are now. So I don't know what that means for Ben Simmons, but I don't even know where he's gonna end up. That's pitiful. He's gonna have to do something. He needs to talk to Blake Griffin. That's what we need to talk to. Blake Griffin was considered just. He was an all-star, but he was mainly known for his dunks and being able to be a high energetic player. To now, Blake Griffin's a bucket sometimes. From beyond the arc, the dude is a bucket. He needs to talk. Whatever Blake Griffin did to get him to get a jump shot, that's what Ben Simmons needs to talk to. Because whatever he's doing is not it. And Joel Embiid's a big man too, who shoots. I don't understand. You literally have a prime example in your own locker room of a big guy who's improved his shooting. I don't get it. I don't get it. Ben Simmons. This will probably be the last time on this podcast we go this far in depth with you, because this is just dumb. This is just pathetic. No shots in 4 straight fourth quarters. I wish somebody would on my team do that.
Shoot, I would have shot shots. They don't even pay me.
I could go out there for free and take a shot. I'm 5'8". It's just.
I think, yeah.
It's just terrible. I don't know. I'm done with Ben Simmons right now. That it just makes no sense. Like, what so many guys would give to be that height, give to be in that position, and you don't even try. You don't even try. Yeah, man.
Work ethic and confidence.
Yeah, no respect for that. To get off of that topic, though, we'll leave Ben Simmons alone. He's been slandered by every single media outlet you can know to man. We're no different. We'll leave him alone for now. A few other things that happened around the NBA. The Pelicans are moving on from Stan Van Gundy after just one single year. It's just a revolving door for that franchise. And I called it. I said they had about a 3-year window. Zion was not going to sign an extension there based on how this is going. He will not be there for very much longer if this is what they're going to be doing. And honestly, they're wasting Brandon Ingram too. He's starting to become a very good player. They're wasting his talent. Lonzo's actually improving, but it's to no end. He's improving, and they're winning 30 games a season. So I don't know what to say about the Pelicans there. The Wizards and Scott Brooks could no longer be on a contract, so they're going to part ways. So what does that mean for Bradley Beal? I'm not sure. We'll just see what happens there, as well as Russell Westbrook, his former coach in OKC. And then the Mavericks also parted ways with Rick Carlisle, who's been there for 13 seasons. I was really shocked by that one. I thought they would keep it together. It seemed like Luka liked Rick Carlisle. They kind of got rid of him, or couldn't agree on what they want to do moving forward. They also got rid of their GM earlier in the offseason as well. And then there was some big news the other day with a trade revolving former now Celtics point guard Kemba Walker. He has been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in return for 2 bigs and Al Horford and Moses Brown. The Thunder again not only gained Kemba Walker but get another first-round draft pick. Just it's unreal how many picks these guys have gained now. It's truly unreal.
Yeah, they're scouting real hard for that 2029 draft already. They see the videos that Overtime Hoops posted the 4th grade players, got them marked down a little book. Meanwhile, other NBA teams won't have draft picks until 2029. None of them to work on. They don't even know who's in college right now. But, Brad Stevens' first move for the Celtics. Brad Stevens' first move. And a little interesting that we sent the best player of the 3 and a first-round pick.
First round, yeah. For two aging players. Well, one aging, but...
Yeah, Al Horford's an aging player. We're finally going to have somebody in the locker room that was, not either a child or still in college before 2010. So there will be some veteran experience, I guess, and a guy who's familiar with Boston. Moses Brown, there's a lot of upside there. Still a little unproven, but they needed bigs. And I'm just going to go out and assume that Al Horford is Brad Stevens' guy. I think he loved him when he was there in Boston. He went out, got them. He was like, well, and I'll go get a guy who can mentor along the way too. Maybe turn Moses Brown into Al Horford 2.0, something like that. So the Brad Stevens always has an Al Horford on his team or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess only time will tell. I remember we traded KG and Paul Pierce to the Nets that draft night. And everybody said, what the hell are the Celtics doing? And now here we are. The Nets didn't do anything with what we gave them. They've got all the superstars. And we thought we won the deal. So who knows, NBA trades. There's going to be a lot of them. You never know exactly.
Yeah.
But just interesting how fast they got rid of him right away, though. I mean, he wasted no time. He got hired. He said, I'll give it a week. Then I'm getting you out of here. Couldn't play for me for 2 months in the season.
Yeah, they weren't. He was not happy with Walker. But how about OKC, man? 36 picks over the next 7 drafts. 18 first-round draft picks, 18 second-round draft picks.
By the way, roster size in the NBA, in case anybody's wondering, is 17 players. I think you can have 18
you
players.
You only have 15 on the active roster.
On the active roster, you can have 15.
Yeah.
I think it's 17 because you get the two-way players. You can sit them per game. But there has to be huge moves coming. I mean, I think they look at a team. You just talked about them. I think you go out, if you're the Thunder, you look at a team like the Pelicans. Like, wow, you have a lot to offer. If you're blowing everything up, you can't re-sign these guys. We're just going to move, a Brandon Ingram over. Or get a Zion over.
Brandon Ingram.
Find out. Right, they're waiting. They're in the wings watching what's going to blow up here. What can we go get? I mean, it's not unfathomable to think that the Oklahoma City Thunder in maybe just 2 years could have Kemba Walker, Brandon Ingram, Kristaps Porzingis, like a CJ McCollum, like guys like this. They're stockpiling a lot, and there's going to be a lot to do with it because the Thunder aren't going to be very good for a while, and they've got about every pick in the draft, so they can give out some pretty, nice picks. I mean,
yeah,
interesting spot for them because none of the fans know the roster right now, but that's okay because it will be a completely different roster probably by the time the season tips off.
Yeah, they've got a lot coming their way, so shout out to them. Moving over now into the NHL, where we are also in the semifinals. As we just talked about, the Lightning just wrapped up an absolute beating of the New York Islanders 8-0. Beat them 8-0 to take a 3-2 lead in that series. The defending champions just one win away now from heading back to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they are awaiting the winner of the other side, with the series currently tied 2-2. Vegas with a very dramatic win last night, taking it to tie the series up at 2 apiece. Had Montreal won that game, Monte would be off somewhere. We have to watch him very closely. He'd be in depression mode because I still believe deep down that the Knights are gonna win this series, and Montreal's letting it slip with losing that game in overtime. But definitely exciting. It's been fun. I've caught some games when I could, but definitely been keeping up. If I'm not watching it live, keeping up with the scores. And Montreal, it's been so up and down. We've back-to-back games have gone into overtime in that series, so that seems to be like that's going to go the distance. Probably a game 7 there, which is exactly what we want. We'll have to see how the Islanders respond on the other side of the bracket after getting absolutely torched 8-0. So they do get to go back home. So they'll go home, maybe think about their lives for a minute, try to knock up the series, but. Yeah, pure excitement. What more can you ask for?
Right, two tied series, making it a best of 3. Yeah, sensational action. This is how the NHL playoffs go down. Very rare that we get the sweeps. In fact, it's over in Canada that they're getting all the sweeps. Us American teams, we're holding it down. But yes, tonight was an example of talent winning out. When talent shows up and plays harder than the gritty team, these are the results that happen. Is 8-0. Maybe not to that extent. But the Lightning, they are the most talented team left. I keep saying it every podcast, and I'm going to continue. They're my pick to win it all. And
no, the Knights.
Tonight, great example. So, yes. My mistake. I'll backtrack on that, Lightning fans. The Vegas Golden Knights, of course, will win the Stanley Cup. And yes, but one of the things that's kind of become a storyline a little bit, you don't see it very much in hockey. It's usually one of the better officiated sports, but there's a lot of fans who aren't too happy with what's going on with the stripes in these series. It was earlier on in the Lightning and Islanders series that their coach, he got fined for lashing out at the refs. as they allowed a goal for Tampa Bay to stand after Tampa Bay had 6 or 7 guys on the ice, more than you should have. Of course, the goal should have been disallowed. They allowed it. Lightning win the game. Anyway, he gets fined. Vegas and Montreal, it was all the rage on Twitter last night about how poor they've been. And there's the reason it was trending on Twitter, because it was all the Canadians chiming in about how they're ruining their team's chances and this, that, or the other. It's usually never really a topic in the NHL. There's a few isolated incidents, I think. The Sharks have been a part of a couple, ironically. But for the most part, pretty clean stuff. So very interesting. I thought I read a report that the referees who did Game 4 of Vegas and Montreal, which was heavily scrutinized, are also going to be the referees for Game 5 between Vegas and Montreal. So,
Wow.
Of all the things to watch in hockey, I don't usually say watch for how teams respond to officiating, but it could decide some things. It really could decide some things. And Vegas, they're very good on the power play. Vegas, in fact, the games they lost to Colorado were very bad when allowing power plays. So that's a huge storyline for them. So as much as we don't want to address it, maybe some iffy officiating could go a little bit of ways in determining who wins this Vegas-Montreal series.
Oh. And if Monte gets screwed over by some refs, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm all here.
I mean, I assume he said some very, we'll call them less than reputable things about Connor today.
Yeah.
As Connor in the text group chat made up a story about Marc-Andre Fleury, the Knights goalie, being out for the rest of the series.
Well, I'm telling you, our group chat is out of pocket, man.
He said
making up stories. Like, I'm at work. What happened? Kind of have a whole story that one of their players got injured. And this dude,
by the way, nothing is happening with him. And for Monte's sake, they've been playing 2 goalies in the series. That's always a point of discussion, is who's going to start for them in goal. Is it going to be Marc-Andre, or is it going to be Robin, who starts for the Knights? So he does have a good second goalie option to go to. Played extremely well in Game 4, did Robin Leonard. Yeah. But, yeah, Crean made up the story. It's not true. Marc-Andre, he's fine. He can play if needed. But this man, yeah, unholy words.
Unholy
from the gentleman who's a Knights fan. So he's getting very into it. He's getting very into it. I'm trying not to. So whoever I get into it for suffers a predictable fate. So I'm trying to stay out of it. Let the hockey gods do their work. I do not want to intervene negatively anymore. I'll just let it play out how it does.
Yep, just let it go.
A true neutral.
Absolutely. Well, going from the ice to the field, specifically the baseball field, our Royals, this time last week, we were talking, we're in the midst of like a 6-game losing streak. That is not the case this time. A lot better. We are, well, not a lot better, but a little better. It was up and down. We're 3-7 in our last 10 games. Not good, but we did win the other day, so we'll take it with an off day today. But the Royals are now 10 games back of first place in the Central. Currently sitting 8.5 back behind the Indians for second place. We'll see where we're at. I don't know what to say about this team right now.
Long season.
What's that?
Long season.
Yeah, it started off so well. Expectations started to get high, and not looking good. If our player,
but it is a roller coaster of a team, though. So beating the Red Sox in a series. By the way, swept by the Tigers, beat the Red Sox in a series. Funny how that works. That's baseball, though. But beating the Red Sox, this could be the start. This could be a little start of something back up. Only 6 more wins to 500.
That's so sad, and that's the goal. 6 more wins, guys, and we've won as many games as we've lost. But you know what? Sometimes that's all you need in baseball.
Yeah, they say, this is a popular saying, they say if you're 500 at the All-Star break, you've given yourself a chance. If you're 33 games behind at the All-Star break like the Diamondbacks is, you're probably not going to have a chance.
I still can't believe live on air last week, they had a chance to break the streak, the away losing streak, and give up a grand slam. That's so bad.
It's not looking good for them.
No.
And they haven't won since the last episode came out. So, yeah. Things continue to spiral downward for the Diamondbacks.
Luckily, we don't cover them every day. Because, good God, they've lost 17 straight games. 17.
You hate to see it.
Yeah. Unless you're the Red Sox, I don't wish that on anybody. 17.
I would really start to feel bad for the players, the fans.
I wouldn't even wish that on. I don't even think on the Cardinals. 17 straight losses. That's horrible.
I didn't even wish it on the Cardinals.
No, I don't know. That's taking it far. I would wish that upon the Red Sox though. I wish they would go 0-80, 162 every time. But
I mean, 16 games is fine, but 17 is where we draw the line on the Cardinals.
Yeah, they can lose 16. They can 16. The Cardinals.
Before we move on from
what's up?
Before we move on from MLB, I don't know if you were trying to change right there what we were doing. Kind of a miscommunication in the process there. Before we move on, All-Star voting this year, very important. The fans, we really haven't gotten a full opportunity to give the Astros what they deserve. And Astros fans, they're out there voting. All right, so we need to do our part. And I'm going to credit, ironically, the Canadians. Thank you so far for the votes. Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's way out ahead of everybody for AL first baseman, as he should be. Marcus Semien, he holds a slim lead over Altuve in voting. Very, very good. Very nicely done. Rafael Devers of the Red Sox, you don't like it, G, but he's up on Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman also second.
Also,
we've got to keep him there.
Team, I believe.
Carlos Correa, who actually I know ranks number 1 for shortstops in fantasy baseball, is actually third for the Astros, behind, believe it or not, a Red Sox and a Blue Jay. Xander Bogaerts and Bo Bichette. And the outfield, if it holds right now, is Trout, Judge, Buxton. And there's actually a Rangers player and a Blue Jays player ahead of them as well. And, of course, the catcher for the AL, Salvador Perez. You know him, the boy, the best catcher in the league right now.
Yes, sir.
In the American League.
Yeah, we'll go there.
So, for the fans, I know maybe sometimes I tell you to vote based on merit, you know, guys who deserve it, guys who are having great seasons, who deserve to get there. But we don't want to see any of the Astros there if we can help it.
Nope.
And we can help it with the voting. So it's the fans that keep voting for these Blue Jays players, the Red Sox players. They're putting division rivalries aside. We're both fans of AL East teams. Keeping the Astros out of the All-Star game, very important this year.
Yes.
There's money tied into it, all that. And since the MLB is not going to take care of it themselves, the MLB fans should keep the Astros out of the All-Star game. That's what I'm asking for the fan base. They haven't faced any punishment. Pitchers now with sticky substance are going to face more time in suspension than players who cheated to win the World Series. So I keep them out of the All-Star game. That's what we can do as fans.
Yep, I 100% second that. Keep these cheaters out of there. I don't care how good they have been. I don't care how good their season has been. They don't deserve anything. And I hope none of them get into the All-Star game. They're currently leading their division right now, so the A's have fallen off. We need them to keep it going. Do not let them win their division.
Yes. Yeah.
Please.
Now, to be fair, the Astros are playing good baseball.
They are.
But we hate it, and it's stupid, and we wished it would stop.
Please.
And thank you.
Please and thank you. So we'll leave it at that for our MLB update. Let you guys know what's going on with our Royals, what's going on with the league. Get out there and vote. Let's keep these guys out of there. The shame tour continues.
That's what I'm talking about.
And now we're going to transition over into the NFL, as really it's been nothing really that's been going on the field this week, but more so what's been going off of it. I haven't had a chance to dive into really any of these stories. I've gotten the notifications about all of them. I don't know how much you know about it. I'll let you kind of take this one over, because I think you've read maybe a little bit more into this one than I have, but not good. We'll start with the negatives first.
Yes, there are some players out there who have been stirring up trouble in the neighborhood. Zaven Collins arrested in Scottsdale for reckless driving, which is 25 over. He had somewhere to be. He had to be there fast. If anybody's heard his phone call during the draft, he was the Cardinals guy he was saying, we're going to kill everybody and we're going to beat everybody into the ground and all this. Then he burst out in tears. You know, he's all gas, no brakes on the field and the road. So he was fine. He was taken in. He was released. He'll pay off his fine. You know, sucks that that's your first purchase with your rookie contract, is paying off a speeding ticket. But that is what it is. A little more severe is our guy Frank the Shark Clark, who we are giving a lot of money to. Arrested in Los Angeles, possession of a deadly weapon with a submachine gun found in his Lamborghini, which in and of itself is an insane sentence. I mean, that is
the most ridiculous title I've ever heard.
It's sort of like a movie script sort of thing, you know, superstar athlete caught with a gun in his luxury sports car cruising the streets in LA. There's not a lot that's out about it right now. All we know is the incident has happened. He's arrested. I'm sure the Chiefs, they're going to ask about it all tomorrow. You're going to hear the same answer from anybody on the Chiefs. Well, I don't know. I think everybody has that same answer right now. I don't know. Why does he have an Uzi? I don't know. Why was Lamborghini the choice of car if he was going to go with exotic cars? I don't know. There's a lot. That part is not important. The part that's important, obviously, is the gun. But yeah, we'll learn more as it happens. Right now, it's just something we know has happened, and not good for the Chiefs. Sort of a tumultuous off the field run for Chiefs here as of late.
Yeah.
Well, former Chiefs now with Britt Reed headed out, but
yeah, it didn't stop there either. As Connor's former lover with the Vikings, their rookie defensive tackle Jalen Twyman was reportedly shot 4 times while driving over to his aunt's house. He is expected to make a full recovery. Look, what is going on? Like that's really a story I need to look more into. I don't know what happened there. I do remember seeing that.
Yeah. I wished I knew more about it. We just know he was in
the car when that happened.
He was in the car. I don't think he was driving, but I guess what they were saying, what his agent Rosenhaus said, was wrong place, wrong time. So maybe it was caught up in crossfire in Washington, D.C., potentially. Yeah, but that's what we've heard from his agent is wrong place, wrong time. They don't think he was involved with anything. So, yeah, he is expected to make a full recovery.
Shot 4 times. Goodness. Lucky to be alive.
Yeah. Now, and I didn't see anything in the story specified about where he was hit, if there was any direct impact, or if, say he was just grazed. But yeah, the good news is expected to make a full recovery. I don't know when they expect him to be back doing football activities, but nothing severe as they're making it sound. Everybody sounds pretty tame about it. Just a wild, really last 48 hours. All of these stories have come out in the last 48 hours. So,
yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, pretty tumultuous offseason for Pittsburgh defensive line rookies with
what's going
Weaver and Twyman and
what is going on?
Yeah,
but
tumultuous.
On a much lighter mood, and definitely worth celebrating, defensive lineman, or I believe he's a defensive end, Carl Nassib has actually come out as the first openly gay player within the NFL. Obviously, we had Michael Sam in the past, who came out before getting drafted, coming out of Mizzou before getting drafted by at the time, the St. Louis Rams. But Carl Nassib is the first actively gay player to come out, and it sparked quite a bit of celebration and encouragement, and a lot of celebration within his team and around the league. Definitely a great thing to see someone, open up to about who they really are and making it known to his teammates. I believe he made it known via a video, talking to his team and just talking about himself personally. And definitely something that, it's great to look at where we are now as a society, where someone can come and say such a thing, and he's celebrated for it. He's not condemned. I haven't heard anybody say anything negative toward him at all. Everyone's been very accepting of his teammates, including people just around the league in general, league executives and all that type of stuff. So it's definitely very encouraging to see that people are accepting other people, for who they are. And, this is another prime example of the community that the NFL has, accepting a guy who's, felt comfortable telling his teammates and his organization, what was going on. So the big shout out to Carl Nassib.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the reaction was fantastic to see. I like the NFL. They seem to be progressing a little bit. With Roger Goodell, he made his statements on it. He was very positive and very happy for Carl. It did have me thinking, and I know we both like Mizzou. We both watched Michael Sam at Mizzou, and he was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And I think this is a great step that he's become the first active one. And I hate to go back and bring it back up, but had Michael Sam come out mid-career the same way, would he be in the NFL, because I hate to bring it up, just something interesting I wanted to ask you about, because we all saw the potential, especially being from around here. And yeah, and I'm obviously was that, hey, maybe.
Hey, hold on, your audio's messed up.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear it right now?
I can now. You probably have to start that a little bit over.
Okay. And it obviously took a lot of bravery for Carl Nassib to come forward and do this after, potentially seeing a fellow gay man pretty much blackballed because of something that he said before he got to the NFL, which sort of, maybe made some of the players or the management weary of him for whatever reason that could be. So a lot of bravery there.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great first step to sort of blaze trails, because sexual identity does not affect the way you play football. If you're good, you're good. And so as happy as I am to see this, I'd love to see Michael Sam, maybe get another shot.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. That's immediately where,
yeah,
that's immediately where my mind went. You know, I mean, we see Tim Tebow come back. Why not? Why not Michael Sam?
Don't throw Tebow in this.
Well, Tebow's a very religious guy. He probably does not want to be thrown into this right now. But no, I'm just kidding. He's a lover of all things and all people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'd embrace it more than most guys in the league. 100. Because he'd embrace everybody more than most guys in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Tim's a lover, and great first step for the NFL.
Yeah.
In terms of, making headway. I think there has been a lot of improvement just in terms of social justice all around the league, starting with movements made last year and sort of an understanding now that, these athletes they're more than just guys that we watch play. They're people, and they deserve to be treated as such. I think a lot of times guys tend to forget that because they're gladiators who are doing stuff that everybody else wants to be doing. They almost don't even feel human at times. And it's moments like these that we kind of see the humanity of sports come back, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% in agreement with you. I think this is really a big moment, a big step within the NFL community. And like Roger Goodell said in his statement, when this news broke, he said, hopefully he wants to get it to a point where it's not breaking news. If someone else decides to come out in the future, it's not like not as big a deal. It's just something that we all automatically, know and accept. So, and I agree that would be a good place to be. So, yeah, big shout out to the Raiders organization. Big shout out to Carl Nassib and everyone within the NFL community for getting behind him and supporting his decision. So, big props there. Something positive happening within the NFL because these players, good Lord. Wait, what?
A mixed bag, to say the least.
Yeah, most definitely. We're now going to switch over to one of our newest segment titled Rapid Fire Takes, where we originally set it up for between you, me, and Connor, but it's just going to be us two. So we'll do our best. We're going to shoot for 4 minutes this time. We did 3.5. That might have been a little ambitious. We'll shoot for 4 minutes. Get you guys caught up on some other sports that we don't cover in depth, but we'll get you squared away. So I will begin starting the clock now. So I want to get you guys just caught up with the Euros, what's going on in the Euro 2020 tournament. In Italy, able to win Group A with Wales falling into that second place. They will advance, most likely Switzerland being in third. They have a good chance of advancing as well with 4 points. In Group B, Belgium wins their group, winning all 3 games, and they will be joined by Denmark, who played pretty bad in the first 2 games and all of a sudden put together a masterful performance, and they are advancing as well with Belgium. We do currently await to see for the rest of the groups. Oh, I forgot Group C with Netherlands winning theirs as well. Austria in second place will be advancing. So more coverage there on that. And to stick with soccer as well, in the MLS, Sporting Kansas City remains in second in the Western Conference behind the still unbeaten Seattle Sounders. Truly unreal how they have yet to even drop a game at this point, but that's where Sporting KC resides.
Moving over to combat sports, we're all waiting for Poirier McGregor 3 on July 10th. So far, there's 2 fight nights that are going to be between that. The Korean Zombie, Chan Sung-young, defeated Dan Ige in a battle of featherweights. The Korean Zombie trying to get another title fight, get his name on a pay-per-view, as that is a very cool nickname. Now the heavyweights take center stage this weekend. Cyril Gane, who has yet to lose as a heavyweight and could pose to be the biggest threat following Stipe's leaving of the heavyweight whenever he chooses to. He's going to take on Alexander Volkov, seasoned veteran there. On the boxing side, Vasily Lomachenko. He was a 3-belt champion in the lightweight division. He's making his first return since losing to Teofimo Lopez to lose all those belts. The guy he's fighting, Nakatani, one career loss, also, in fact, Teofimo Lopez. So Teofimo Lopez will watch his sons do battle. And the best one, I guess, will not own a Father's Day present next year.
Yeah. In NCAA sports news, the high courts rule against the NCAA in case of athlete compensation. This could be the first major step that will get athletes to be paid. The Supreme Court voted 9 on a 9-0 matter in favor of athletes getting paid. So I believe it has to go through one more set of court sessions or whatever for this officially to become a thing. So athletes could be getting paid. Student athletes could be getting paid sooner rather than later.
They deserve to be. They make the schools money. Let them profit a little bit. Guys who make a ton of money, golfers, big golf tournament this weekend. The U.S. Open, a very weird final day. Jon Rahm, he got some notoriety from leading a tournament by 6 strokes going into the last day before he tested positive for COVID. Comes back, wins the tournament, takes the world #1 position. Great redemption story for Jon Rahm. Our guys had notable headliners. Phil Mickelson was trying to win a second in a row. He finished 11 over on the tournament. Not even close. Bryson DeChambeau, epic collapse on the final day. There must have been a lot of guys saying Brooksy in the crowd. Is that beef still going on? 14 golfers the final day finished above par. 49 finished, or 14, my mistake, finished under par. 49 finished over par. Incredibly difficult course to play. Jon Rahm wins it, deserving world #1.
Absolutely. In a sport we don't normally talk about, NASCAR, and we're talking about this because Saints running back Alvin Kamara has been hired by NASCAR to help with fan engagement. He is going to be partnering with them to help bring more necessarily awareness, but bring more fans that maybe not have always watched the sport. Wants to kind of bring it to their attention to see how fun it is. Kamara's come out and said how much he actually enjoys watching NASCAR, and he wants to share his knowledge and his fandom of the sport with other people who normally do not watch NASCAR. So I think this is a very interesting perspective. It's going to help bring potentially new demographics and fans to support the sport. And this is another positive step for NASCAR after they were able to ban the Confederate flag last season and standing up for Bubba Wallace. So I think this is a very big deal and a very good step in the right direction of getting more people to watch NASCAR as one of the NFL's best.
Absolutely. Great step forward for a lot of sports this week. College baseball, they're marching closer to their inevitable end of the season. The College World Series opened up this weekend. I, of course, was in Omaha for that. I was there in body, and I was not there mentally as soon as the games ended. That's a story for another time. The opening weekend, we saw Stanford demolished by North Carolina State, one of the only 2 unranked teams to make it. Vandy won an absolute thriller against Arizona in extra innings. The same time Game 7 was going on, the bars were popping for those 2 sporting events in Omaha. The underdog Virginia took down number 3 in the country and number 2 in the country, lost later that night to the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. So Tennessee and Texas now play an elimination game tomorrow. The loser of that game is going to join Arizona, who lost today, and returning back home and leaving the wonderful city of Omaha. North Carolina State, they're going to be joined in the bracket finals by the winner of Virginia and Mississippi State's game tomorrow as they beat the defending champion Vanderbilt Commodores and shut them out for the first time since 2019. Did not get shut out all season until tonight. And in fact, they allowed just 1 run, a mammoth home run with a bat flip that had to be seen to be believed. Tremendous. Great action. This has been a very action-packed tournament already. I love it. I love going up. I enjoy watching it on TV when I'm inevitably forced to come back and work and, try to steal some of my time away. But College World Series rolling through. By this time next week, we'll have our championship team set. and we will try our best to recap all of it in shorter time because I knew I just took a whole minute on that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the time now. Yeah, we're at like 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
So this one, I think every week we're going to go up by 1 minute. And one of these weeks we're not going to include so many sports. We're actually going to hit it. So
no, we'll get better. Well, I think honestly 4 to 5 minutes is a pretty good time though to kind of wrap up 6 to 7 different sports. I think we just talked about how many different leagues and sports, so still not too shabby. I think we did decent.
No, we covered a lot, guys.
That was a lot, and now you know what's going. You guys even know what's going on with NASCAR. I bet you didn't think that was going to be happening.
Yep, Alvin's already making a difference here on this podcast.
Yes, he is. We're a fan of Alvin Kamara on this podcast.
Big fans.
Former Jayhawk conference in JUCO, played against him in Hutch when he went to Hutch, and I was at Butler. So shout out Buco and JUCO players. But now it is time to welcome to your Creed moment. We don't have Connor himself here today, unfortunately, but that still does not stop people from acting like the man himself. Too many people out there being Creeds. I'll let you go first for this week.
I have one, and it's very harsh, and I hate to bring him up again, but Ben Simmons.
Oh,
I mean, I hate to bring him up again, but he was acting like a total Creed, as several of our friends know. Connor went through a fairly messy breakup.
Oh, boy.
And this man, he lost his confidence on Tinder after that. He would ask us every day for advice. He would ask us, how do I even start conversations? The only thing I have to start with is, hey, was his only opening line.
Pickup line.
And I mean, until Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter of this series, I have not seen somebody so afraid to take shots as Connor was on Tinder following the breakup. I hate it. It's really harsh. That's pretty harsh on Connor. Because being compared to Ben Simmons right now it's not completely fair, and I shoot shots. I mean, I'm the J.R. Smith of Tinder in terms of shots that I shoot. But
they're very Henny influenced.
I mean, alcohol's influenced a lot of the time, yes. I don't know if I'm at the Henny level yet. I mean, I've got to do a lot more. J.R. Smith is light years ahead of me. I have this DeAndre Ayton pickup line that I'm not allowed to use on here.
No.
I have. It would kill down in Phoenix right now, I'm sure. It would be very good down in Phoenix.
No.
Girls around here not as familiar with Suns basketball, but a trip to the finals, and they will be. That pickup line will be working all through the fall.
It still will not. He can win finals MVP, and that's still not working. That ain't happening. So Ben Simmons, I tried. I said we would leave you alone. Toby had other plans.
I'm sorry. I had to bring him up one more time.
It's a bad day.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons.
And also Ben Simmons, this isn't even like a Connor thing, but Ben Simmons, who said now he's going to work with a skills developer over the offseason instead of playing for Australia, kind of doesn't sound like him, because just like Australia, Ben Simmons' career is going down under as well. And I figured Creed would listen to this part and he'd enjoy that joke there.
Oh man.
And I had to make Creed feel a little bit better because I just talked mess on his Tinder game, but
yeah, he deserved it. That the stuff he was talking about was so bad. But speaking of things that are horrible,
do you like water?
I'm not even. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't even make this up. He really said that. Anyways, my my Creed moment
Like
goes to a
water.
game, a specific game that Connor does not like, and that is Madden. Madden, welcome to your Creed moment. These guys, and I have the official message pulled right up here. This is just terrible. So Madden 22 is going to feature some new things for the new systems, the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox Series X. So they're coming out with this home field advantage. They think that the crowd need more work, so they've put in like a home field advantage effect that's going to get I guess it kind of affect the game in some way. How much, I don't know. But the message reads, every NFL stadium in Madden NFL 22 is equipped with a unique home field advantage modifier that, when triggered, can shift momentum into or out of your favor. When you're on the road in Kansas City and the defending crowd noise delays your audibles, you'll be wishing you weren't in Kansas anymore. When are they going to learn Kansas City is not in Kansas? Not that part anyway. Where their stadium is located is not in Kansas City, Kansas. This is not the first time, nor will it be the last time that they continue to make this mistake. We play in Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri was actually the first one before KCK. I'm pretty sure. Which of the Missouri one was built first. Come on, guys. We just won the Super Bowl not even 2 years ago. You didn't even know where the trophy was taken back to. You don't even know what state. Come on. We're not in Kansas. And this is a Creed moment because, like Connor, or like Madden, Connor continues his level of hate on Kansas City, Missouri for some reason. You speak on Kansas, loves them, loves Lawrence. We'll talk great about Lawrence. Well, nothing bad to say about Kansas in general. But let us bring up Kansas City, Missouri, and he'll be the first one to take a quick shot about how much better St. Louis is than Kansas City, Missouri. Has great things to say about Overland Park, great things to say about Leawood, loves Lawrence. But bring up Kansas City, Missouri, nothing but hate. And this is a prime example of a Creed moment because we're not showing love to KC Mo. We're just trying to give it some love to KCK for some reason, and that's not what you want to do. So I was pretty fired up when I saw this because it's just, come on, guys. We're in Missouri.
Yeah. And a lot of you coasters won't get it if you're listening on the coast, or if you're listening from Ireland, or Ireland listener, you might not get it.
Ireland.
But there's actually, believe it or not, people on the side of the state lines that aren't too fond of the other. So some people from KC Mo,
I'm one of those people.
They take the Kansas, they take the Kansas monogram that's attached with us by everybody who's not familiar at all with our geography in the Midwest. They take it a little bit more to heart. I remember the year that we played the Texans in Houston. It was a wild card playoff game. Niall Davis returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. I could not believe the number of signs were saying, "Hey, Chiefs, you're not in Kansas anymore." Yep, never were. Never were. And you know what happened in that game? The Chiefs beat the Texans 30-0. And 3 years later, they traded DeAndre Hopkins for an old running back. So let this be a lesson to Madden. Fix it. But bad things happen if you don't know the difference.
I get the little pun they were trying to make, the little point they're trying to make.
But yeah, Wizard of Oz, baby.
Yeah, no, you could have thought of something better than that if you want to use Kansas City as an example of a state.
Yeah. What if you were like your team will be in misery, like the Maroon 5 song? I am
in misery, and then and then that's when you know you're actually in Missouri. We're still in misery.
It was a trend on TikTok. You know what sucks is I bet most of the people who play Madden, the target audience, like demographic, are probably a little bit younger. Probably a little bit younger than we are. They're probably high school kids, right?
Yeah.
How many kids, not from Kansas, where they talk about that movie all the time, how many of them know what the Wizard of Oz is, or have gone back and watched the
Oh.
Wizard of Oz? I
Uh,
don't think you're hitting the target audience quite the way you want them to.
no, I don't even. Yeah, I feel like most kids who religiously play Madden wouldn't even get that reference.
I have to ask, you've seen Wizard of Oz?
I have.
Yeah, I have too, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And actually a long time ago, but a long time ago.
I'm dead.
They love that stuff.
Yeah,
But
I mean it's a classic for sure.
yeah, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, staples of
It's-
Halloween costumes. But
Vincent. I said I was gonna
Yes.
leave him alone.
he asked the man behind the curtain if he could have a jump shot.
Oh, I can't make this a layup. Stop
Oh,
confusing
man.
us. In conclusion, stop confusing us. It's Kansas City, Missouri. It's where the Kansas City Chiefs and the Royals both play at. Leave us alone. Sporting Kansas City plays in KCK. There's your KCK. That's where Sporting plays.
Yep. And that
And
we're
they,
saying
originally, and they originally weren't even supposed to play there. They were supposed to also be in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep. We're saying it to Madden, but new era when they came out with those awful hats that they had to pull that everybody clowned on Twitter. By the way, they also put all the Kansas area codes on the hat. Yep, not an 816. It was all 913s and all the Kansas codes. I think Kansas codes even out like past Lawrence.
785. It's like 785 and 913s. It's Kansas.
Like,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri's got all the stuff in it. They don't even know. They just don't know. It's just one of those things they'll never understand, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I went to college, I guess this can be a part of our final thought as we're just rambling now. But when I got to college, we had guys, come from the South, come from the West Coast, and when I went to Mo West, and they didn't know that there were two Kansas cities. They just thought there were one. So, because everyone's heard of the Chiefs, everyone's heard of the Royals. So, and I think most people, if you just know basic United States geography, I feel like most people know that there is a Kansas City and it's in Missouri, but not too many people actually know that there's actually a second Kansas City that's in Kansas, which that I understand. If you're not from here, how would you really know? Not too much goes on in KCK. But to think that most people understand that it's actually in Missouri still, at least I believe, at least the people I've talked to who have never been to Missouri before until they came to college, they still understood that, yes, it's called Kansas City. Yes, Kansas is right here, but it's actually in Missouri. That's the part where they get confused. Like, why is it Kansas City in Missouri? But they at least know that it's in Missouri, not in Kansas.
Yeah, it's
and I'm KC Mo till I die, so it infuriates me a little bit because that's just annoying.
Yep, he didn't get the KCK part tattooed on his forearm. I'll tell you that much. It wasn't their skyline.
There is
but
skyline. That would be nothing but just
I'm not gonna talk bad on KCK though, because they're still part of the kingdom and all. They're still part of KC. They got Wyandotte Barbecue out there, underrated barbecue place. We
were just talking about Wyandotte Barbecue.
They all get the shine. I like Wyandotte Barbecue a lot. So shout out Wyandotte Barbecue and KCK.
Arthur Bryan.
See, he likes Brian's. I think we're all in agreement. Gates is the best if you come here. Gates is the place. If you're gonna try one, you go to Gates.
Absolutely.
If you want, people love Joe's. People love Joe's. They love that it's a gas station. They sell all the sauces. Yeah, the Z-Man classic. They got all the barbecue sauces for every other place there at the gas station. So you pull up on a road trip, get some sauce so you can, stand that barbecue from wherever your home is. the bad barbecue, as we like to call it, not in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Roll out with the sauce, fill up your car, be on your way.
You want to sit down, have a nice, like more of a nice dine in, get a Q39 that is on the Kansas side.
Yep.
Nice little spot.
Jack Stack if you're on the Missouri side, down at the plaza. Yes, sir. Barbecue aplenty in Kansas City. Very Kansas City positive at the end of this show.
Yes. We need it. Kansas City's been going through some rough times. We've been talking about the NFL players and all the crime. There was a lot of crime here. So we need to chill it out, fellas. And women or whoever's involved in all these crimes.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Crimies.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a peaceful place. Let's keep it.
We're the heartbeat.
We're growing a lot, actually.
We're the heartbeat of the country. We're right in the middle.
We are. This country doesn't run without us. Remember that.
Exactly. In terms of importance, Kansas City, Philly, San Jose, California, Washington, D.C.
Dabo Sweeney.
I was giving a lot of shout outs there. I actually think there's quite a few listeners to our podcast from Maryland. So
yeah, we actually do.
Yeah. I mean, if you're from Maryland, just know that the cities where you are, they're ahead of Washington, D.C. Yeah. They're somewhere below San Jose and between Washington, D.C.
San Jose. They just have
the sharks are from there.
San Jose just all the country's most important documents all signed in San Jose.
We haven't had a win in a while.
You're not gonna have a win for a long time.
No, and not at this rate. We're not.
No.
We got totally shafted in the draft lottery too, but I don't want to talk about it.
All right, well, I think that'll do it for episode 44. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Definitely been a pleasure. We continue to keep doing this. Hey, if it's just us two, it's just gonna be us two. We're gonna keep rolling with it. We enjoy doing this. We appreciate you guys, all the support you guys give us. But that'll do it. Episode 45 coming up. It's crazy. Just 6 more episodes. We'll be on the big 5-0. That's nuts. That is really crazy. So. Oh boy, yeah, that was pretty bad. But yeah,
about to open up a can of worms for Gannon here.
No, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. But I will say, if you guys were with us from the beginning, too, one quick reminder. If you guys were with us from the beginning, you'll remember when we first started this, we did some top 10s at each position within the NFL. That will be coming back up starting, I believe, next week, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so that will be.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, there's not too much NFL news during the summer, so that'll be something to keep the NFL comments engaging.
And more positive and upbeat, and not about arrest.
Yeah, not getting arrested with mini Uzis and Lamborghinis. So that's just so stupid. So we'll have that. We'll let you know next week, or I'll let you know midweek, which position we will be breaking down first for our top 10 heading into the 2021 season. I am very excited to do this. There should be plenty of Titans on here this year. There were very few last year.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So you guys take it easy. Toby's already talking trash low key. So more incentive to tune in for next week. You guys have a great one.